This podcast is sponsored by Anchor FM. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it is literally the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First, it's free. Second, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. And Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so many other platforms. You can make money from your podcast as well with just minimum listenership. It's literally everything you need to make a podcast, all in one place. And it's what we here use at The Struggle is Real. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Struggle is Real. And today I am here with Jason, fellow classmate, and Alonje.
Hello. How about your boys?
Hello there.
Pack Sanity is here, the associate producer.
Hey, it's your boy Pack Sanity.
Okay, so before we get started, Jason, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into film?
My name is Jason Joe Barrera. I'm originally from South Texas. I came into Atlanta following my fiance because she had a job over here. And I decided, since I'm a theater major, I do have a theater background and acting background. I have a BA and MA in theater production. And I wanted to go into film because in my master's program, I fell in love. I absolutely fell in love with film because of the collaboration the grad students had there in Texas. So I found out that Atlanta is booming in the film industry, so I really wanted to pursue and further my education in the film industry. So SCAD, I heard, was the place to be, so I applied, I got in, and I am now here with you all. These wonderful talents that I collaborate with every single day.
Aw, and shout out to Jason's fiance, Angel, because she is in the room with us.
Hey!
All right, Alonje, tell us your story. A little bit about yourself.
Hello, my name is Alonje. I'm a master's student here at SCAD. Decided to go the film route. Actually, very recently, I started studying photo and video and graphic design as an undergrad, and then evolved into focusing on moving picture and telling stories through the digital space of motion picture. So here I am.
Cool. So today's topic is going to be about on-set horror stories.
Yep.
What's the worst thing that's happened to you guys on set?
Who going first? Jason, you want to knock this one first?
All right, age before beauty, I guess, on this
Yeah.
one. So
Wow, Jason.
yeah, So the story I've been telling is when I've been behind the camera very little, so I've been in front of the camera most of my film experience, and as an actor, there were a lot of things that were horrific during my time in filming in Texas. There's this particular story that I love telling. Is a female actress that had to play my significant other, my love interest. She was a friend of mine. So the one thing that she would do right before our love scenes and our kissing scenes is she would love to eat a whole bag of Funyuns right before our kissing scenes. Yeah, I know. So she would do this on purpose, and I know she would do this on purpose. I hated it. But they would call our time, like, okay, actors to set, and I could see her walking down the hall with a bag of Funyuns, and she would eat that last one and just look at me like, crunch.
Delicious.
And she would look at me like, you ready to do this? And I was like, oh my gosh. But she would do that just to mess with me because she was my friend, of course. But on that same production, also another thing that was really tough in South Texas, we did a lot of outside scenes. Mm-hmm. And the average temperature during the summer, because we shot in the summer, is about 112 to 114 degrees outside. And I remember that we had to shoot outside in this desert heat. and it was so hot that actors were just passing out left and right, and they couldn't hydrate us enough. They couldn't give us shade enough.
Oh no.
So my action sequences as an actor took a toll on me, and my body. I felt dizzy all the time, and it was hard because we got sunburn, right? And then we had to shoot indoors the following week, and so shooting outdoors the first week and then shooting indoors, I was two different colors in the movie. So you can tell that one movie I was real pale and white, and the other one I was just red like a strawberry. But that was a very difficult shoot in itself. But that was me being in front of the camera. I do have some horror stories behind the camera, but I think Alondra should go next, so I can stop talking for a little bit because I can go on forever.
I mean, so can I. I mean, at this point, where do I start? I mean, behind the camera, I've kind of shaken all those skeletons out as far as behind the camera stuff very early on because I've been doing this for a little bit. Whether it be blown out backgrounds or poppy audio. So those type of things kind of like fizzled out as the years gone by. I've learned to gain an affinity for film and good looking film. So those skills kind of culminated to even exposures and using different exposure tools to make sure that the picture looks A1. However, these days I'm focusing on different things as far as filmmaking in general. So we were tasked most recently with a producer project. I'm sure some of you guys are in my class. Mahalia has this really happy grin on her face.
Because it's Quinn's class.
Yes. Shout out to Quinn, by the way.
Shout out Quinn on almost every episode.
Oh yeah, shout out my boy Quinn.
Love you, Quinn.
One of my favorite teachers. Anyway, yeah. So where do I start with this one? So Quinn tasked us with this project to produce a music video, a brand film, and what was the other one?
Documentary.
And a brand film.
So when my time came up to bat, I was doing the music video. So from the ground up, I produced this music video that we all did, and throughout the process, I had to contact the manager of the artist that we chose. It just so happened that this artist manager was the mother of the artist. Should I say more?
Yeah, you don't have to.
Yes. So
You had a momager.
I had
Christian.
I had a very stereotypical quintessential momager, and it spanned all the way to on-set horror. She came on set. I was like, hey. She asked, hey, can I come on set? Take background pictures. I'm like, sure. What's the worst that can go wrong?
That was the worst.
Yeah.
I blame myself more than anything. But, I just figured, what can go wrong? And of course, everything that would go wrong will go wrong. So she came on set and decided to run the show. So, and me being me, if any of you guys know me, you guys know that I don't put up with beep, beep, beep.
No,
So-
Alonje is Mr. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. So she tried to toss around her authority, and I just omitted her whole voice and eventually omitted her stature and silhouette from the set. So she didn't last long. She got the point eventually, and she walked out. But
It was the funniest freaking
Yeah.
thing. Because literally she would be like, she would tell Alonje to do something and Alonje would do the opposite. Like
Yeah.
she'd be like, go left. Alonje goes all the way right.
Yeah.
All the way.
I went down actually.
Yeah, which I thought was a genius on your part. Like, I'm the type of person that I'm very short-tempered, and when I was in that production with you in that room, I actually had to walk out of the room. And when I would walk in until she started giving orders, I would just see you just like with your hands crossed, just looking at what she was talking about, and you're like, But she eventually got the point, and which was, I think, fantastic job on your part, Alonje. And she just walked out. She's like, okay, I'm going to walk out of here. I'm going to get out, and I'm going to let you guys do what you got to do. Okay, all right, bye. So she just,
I love the fact that she apologized after the shoot.
yeah.
Well, she felt like she needed to.
I mean, it was a little too late, but
Yeah, I mean, the damage has been done. I haven't spoken to her since. I'm actually still delivering the video. Actually, we're going to shoot another scene for that video tomorrow. We satisfied the project, and I want to do Jordan, the artist, the service of delivering a video that she can actually use. So had a little trouble in the editing room, but we're going to shoot another scene to make the whole thing come together. And I made sure I kept that line of contact strictly Jordan and didn't go outside of the box. So yeah, so that's how that went. I'm going to throw the bone back to Jason for a little bit.
Wait, what was your guys' favorite project that you've done this quarter?
Like out of all the classes?
Yeah.
Probably that one. I mean, I think we had the most fun.
Yeah, I think I like the music video because Alonja and I have been working together since the first quarter. Like we're pretty much attached by the hip by now, and that's the one I've enjoyed the most because of that struggle that we had with, you know, we finally found conflict within our production, and it's like, how are we gonna get through it? Right. Now, how do we approach this, and what direction are we going to take? Are we going to take the professional direction, or are we going to take the, you know, the student, you know, kind of like project, you know, direction? Are we going to just flip out on this woman? But we did, and what happened was we found out that, you know, we really chose a way to deal with it that settled everything, and we remained calm, and we found a way to just ease it all out. And
I will say you guys were both very professional. And I knew you were getting upset because you kept walking out the room, and I was like, Jason, are you okay?
I was like, I'm not the producer, I'm the director. I just direct the scene when it's ready. I'm going to go in there like the director, you know, I'm going to be like Spielberg and just say, where's my chair? Okay, action and go. Okay, you need to move this, move that. But I didn't want to deal with that because I didn't want to lose it either. So
and I would have probably went to the next step and had to have said something. Of course, I didn't want to do that. So I tried my first plan first. It just seemed to work. So thank goodness.
Yeah, and it was your grade. There was no way I was gonna like lose it on this woman. Right. And then she walks out, and Alonja has no project to do. And I was like, that's
and that would have been okay with me, by the way. I would have taken the F.
Yeah, but it was his project. There's no way, you know.
And shout out to Nada, who is going to be now my second associate producer, and she was also on the she was also on set that day, and she really helped get it together.
Yeah, and shout out to Nara on that set because she really helped move things along scene to scene. So the shoot wouldn't have gone as cohesively without you. So thank you.
She's a good second AD.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You should see her face right
now. I got her contacts if you guys need it. If you guys need an AD producer that will help you get shit done, I got you.
She sounds scary, but she really isn't.
But Jason, you said you had another horror story.
Oh yeah. So when I was in Texas, I got into the whole 24-hour, 48-hour, 72-hour film festival market, which I absolutely love. You know, I love these, which I hope we do one of these days. I think we have a really good team here at SCAD, and we should do.
We need to start a student production company. We talked about this in a previous podcast episode that we need to have like a production company.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I think we have someone that's excellent in at least one facet of the production of producing film, and good at everything, right? So which is great. But yes, I'm excited to do that in the future. But these film festivals, if anybody doesn't know what a 24-hour, 48-hour, 72-hour film festival is you go into a room, they tell you exactly what needs to be in the film. They'll give you an item, they'll give you a theme, and a character, and you have to put it in your film no matter what, or location, right? And you have to put it in there. So what happened was we had a really good team of students in our 24-hour film festival, and the one thing that happens with these students is they always bicker about everything, and they're always fighting about everything. So I've always gone into these schools as pretty much the oldest one. Even when I was going in grad school, they were all still 23, 24, and I was 30 years old. I'm 36, 35 now. And so I've always been the older one, so I always have to play the father figure, kind of. But at one point, our cinematographer, our DP, and our director and writer, they both clashed about something. They didn't like something, and our DP was trying to film something, and the director's like, no, I don't like that. There's too much this, there's too much that. And it got to the point where it got so heated that they actually started throwing fists.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, they threw fists and they actually fought. And
Jesus.
yeah, it was. I was just like, are you kidding me? So of course when this happened, I was on a water run or whatever I was doing, and when I came back, I just see them all bloodied up. Right, I'm just like, what is going on with you guys? And so they explained to me the situation. They were already cool and calm by that time. I was like, well, what's the point? What was the point? And they explained it to me. So that's when I realized, like, from then on, that was the very first 24-hour film festival I ever did. And
And the last.
yeah, great. Yeah, but I kept on wanting to do them. So every time we had a new film festival that we had to do, I always had that opening meeting. I'm like, everybody understands what we have to do. Everybody knows their roles, their positions. And we're going to be calm, collective, and we're going to be professional about this. I go, if you have an issue with someone, all right, come up to me first, talk to me, vent it out to me, and then I'll try to communicate best way possible to that person. Okay? I will be your middleman from here on out. So after that, we did about 3 more festivals during the...
You didn't find that exhausting to do, being the middleman?
I would rather do that than have them blow up on each other. I will take that. I will take that weight on. So from then on, they did have, we would have these, of course, these squabbles, but eventually, we came together and we did it. And of course, everybody had their disagreements, and there was a lot of, bickering on set, but it never went back to that point of like fist fights. And we put out some really good work, and we won a few of those festivals, and we still friends to this day. And it was a crazy experience.
How did the relationship of those two pan out?
They actually, one of them did one more festival with us, and the other one stayed with us. Okay. So we had the Bangarang Productions, right? That was our production company.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
One of them left. We did one more festival with us, and then he left, but the other one stayed on. And but they still stayed friends. We would see each other on campus every single day. Mm-hmm. So they were always chill and relaxed. And
got it out their system, I guess.
Yeah, they just got it out of their system. Sometimes you just have to bang it out. I know, I understand that. But
no pun intended.
But it worked out in the long run. But it's never gotten to that point. I've never seen that before until that point. And I was just like, what is going on? This is terrible.
It's a shame it has to come to that.
Yeah, sometimes it does, and sometimes it does. I'm sure you guys have seen like things get to that point where people.
I've seen people get to the point where they're ready to strangle the other person. Mm-hmm. Like.
But how do you feel about that, Molly? Like, what do you do internally to try to remove yourself from that situation?
When there's conflict in a production?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus. Well, I do the podcast. It helps me vent.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't know. I mean, I try to keep it... I try to remember that we're here for the story and not here because of personalities or egos. Mm-hmm. So I just try and be like, okay, guys, but does it help our story? I guess I kind of do play the middleman sometimes with our last group members. One was so ready to kill the other, so ready, and she'd always come up to me and be like, "Mahalia, hold me back, because today's the day I might punch him in the face." I'd be like, "Girl, it's not worth your time. It's not worth going to jail. It's like you don't want to be arrested. It's not a good look." But I don't know. I try and keep the peace on set by like either changing the subject or just giving people roles to do. It's like roles where they don't have to really interact with each other. Like I'll be like, okay, you go fix the lights, you go play with the sound, and I'll figure out the rest right now. But I don't know, it's hard. It's really hard. What about you, Alonzo? What do you do when you see conflict?
I keep my mouth shut and turn the other cheek. No, but seriously, I tend to also play the mediation role when I can. I'm a lover, not a fighter. So when I do see these things happen, I try to play the middleman role. My thing is, I try to, like, there's a few people that I really don't like, or say I hate. Hate is that strong word I don't like to use. So when these situations come up, I tend to be friends with the two people that are battling it out. Right. Mm-hmm. So I try to mend that as much as I could, whether it be on set that time or on the field production at that moment, or after the production. And it's like, hey, what's going on? Like, what's bothering you? What did he say? You know, that's how I try to mend the fences.
But it's hard because sometimes it feels like you're gossiping or like you're talking smack behind people's back. But like, people need to vent.
Yeah, it's a purge of emotions is the best way of coping.
Move forward.
Right.
It's ridiculous. Any more on-set horror stories? Do I have an on-set horror story?
Yeah. Do you have one? Or Ryan, do you have one? You guys can share yours too.
Pax Sandy.
I kind of have one. Last quarter when I did my short film, The Silver-Haired Catfish.
Yes.
Oh yeah, please tell that.
Yes, please tell that story.
God,
Gosh,
that lady. Oh.
How you gonna let this pass and not talk to you? Come on.
Oh yeah.
So I did a movie called The Silver-Haired Catfish, and it was about an old woman who accidentally catfishes a young man. And I casted the role with an elderly lady. It was kind of last minute because it was the final film. But I casted this woman because from the audition sides that she sent me, she was so good. So I casted her. She came to set 30 minutes late. Mm-hmm. And when she did come to set, she got mad that I called her because she was late. And I was like, okay, that's a red flag number one. But I'm like, okay, well, let's just keep it going. Turns out she was so mean. I don't want to say what she was. She was a witch, but replaced the W.
Okay, I got
like
you.
she was so mean on set.
Was she a snitch?
She kept saying. She was so mean on set. She kept saying like, "Well, if I was the director, I would do this." She changed the lines. There was one monologue that I loved so much. I was okay with her improvising a little bit, but there was one monologue that I really wanted her to say verbatim. Not one time did she do it, even though I asked her. And all her co-stars were so mad that they had to work with her because she was a witch. And she just kept trying to direct the production like it was hers. And she kept throwing shade because she was like, oh, why is everything so last minute? You know this is a student production. I gave you all the times. You didn't have to agree. You didn't have to do this for me. I could have found somebody else. But she was just so mean.
And so how did you cope with that? Because I heard stories from all different angles. I actually never talked to you about this. How did you keep her cool in that situation?
I know that I was on a time crunch, and I was like, it's just today. Mm-hmm. If I could just get through today, it'll be okay. But she was literally enraging everybody on set that half of my crew threatened to leave because they didn't want to deal with her anymore. And I just kept saying, guys, please, like, this is my final. Please don't go. Yeah. Please don't go. And luckily, my crew are great people, and they stayed. But towards the end, I'm not gonna lie, I was getting really, really frustrated, and I wanted to curse her out so much, but I didn't. And I'm not gonna lie, I had a friend bring me some vodka on set.
Well, that's how you do it, folks.
The very last scene, I was like drinking just to get through because it had been a long and arduous journey with this woman.
The struggle is real.
15 minutes before we planned to. So
you wrapped 15 minutes before you planned to?
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Yeah, we probably planned to wrap at 10, wrapped at 9:45. So
get it out of here.
It was good. What about you, Ryan?
Yeah, hey, Paxan, what's going on?
Horror stories. Let me pass the mic to you.
I don't know. I mean, I don't have a horror story, but I do have an awkward story.
Yeah,
is
go
that okay?
Go ahead.
Yes, please.
So this production, I was helping out a friend, and this actress needed to change to another clothes. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, you go ahead and like change your clothes. And then she walks over to the kitchen and she pretty much like strips in front of like everyone.
Nuh-uh.
And I didn't notice it until like I turned around towards the kitchen and I saw her back, but like she was like
Completely like
She had no bra on.
no bra.
slip
Damn.
on or
No.
anything.
What? And I was like,
People are brave.
So I was like, in my mind, I was like, like, what do I do in this situation? And then I was like looking around, looking at other people, and I like quickly scurried towards her. I wasn't looking at her. I was like,
Do
excuse
you need
me.
a blanket?
No.
A towel? Can I hold up something for you?
Why did you tell us this before?
So, and I was like, excuse me, do you need a bathroom? Like, bathroom's like over there. And then she was like, oh, no, I'll just change here. I was like, damn. So it was really awkward for me. So I was like, oh, okay. And I just left her alone. And she did their thing and she just changed her clothes. I was like, wow.
Did you guys ask her to change again?
No.
If she had another change of clothes, I'm pretty sure you guys would not ask her to.
No.
You guys have to shoot another day for another act.
Yep. But, yeah, it was
Was this the last quarter or this quarter?
This quarter, yeah.
What?
It was,
I want to know.
it was middle of this quarter for sure. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, that was my awkward story, but
I have another story.
here you go.
And if you have her contact information, please send it to.
So for our music video, our producer had forgotten that we had a scene to shoot before we shot another scene. And he told we were supposed to shoot that scene at 2 p.m. and just keep shooting for the rest of the night. He only planned for people to come at 8 p.m. But we told our artists to, and we needed that scene. So literally, 4 hours before we were about to shoot, we stood in the hallway of the DMC asking people if they were free to join our shoot. We needed 10 extras because it was a party scene. So we had to ask our artists to bring her friends with her. We had no idea. No one really confirmed if they were coming or not. And we got to set. Luckily, everybody came and we had more people than we needed. But that was like the most stressful part of the whole production, was trying to pull a team together within 4 hours.
Yeah, we were there. I remember.
You remember I was stressed out. I almost lost my mind. Because I said, how'd you forget this whole scene? It's right here. But
Here, pass that mic back to Ryan.
Hold on, what's going on?
Ryan, you don't remember last quarter?
What happened?
Towards the end of last quarter, we had that gentleman that will remain unsaid. That kind of, yeah.
I sort of remember. Oh my god, hold on a second. I was like, but I gotta think whose production it was.
No names.
No names.
Oh my gosh.
But they tried to copy off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember now. Yes.
I wasn't gonna let that go.
Oh, were you talking about the one the horror one?
Yeah. Yes.
The one that was
I guess.
low key plagiarism.
Yes, exactly. That's where I'm getting
gosh.
at. I think that will count as a horror story.
It
And I
was,
feel
it
sorry
was.
for you more so because I had to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was. I was like really worried because like if the professor catches him, like, and we're also involved, so which means we get in trouble.
Yeah, we
Are
do.
we saying this? Oh well.
Yeah.
No, it needs to be said. They need to hear
Yeah,
it.
you do have to warn future students about what
Yeah.
our mistakes and what could happen in the future. So
Yeah, so-
absolutely.
Yeah. So listeners, make sure you don't plagiarize other films because if people catch you, you're done. Your career's over.
Before it even started.
So we came on set, and he bribed us with apple juice and all that good stuff.
Ooh, I love apple juice.
Yeah, no, and that's he got my attention at that point. And then his presentation to us on what to do was showing us a whole nother film that he wanted to, shot by shot, recreate
Jesus.
for a final. So at that point, I looked at Ryan, and Ryan looked at me, and we made a blaring contact, and we were like, oh, what the hell? But we helped him, Ryan helped him. I did not help him because I had to leave. But these things happen, unfortunately. This is reality. So.
Yeah. And he came to me too, but he showed me the video, and I was like, oh, okay, well, he's taking inspiration from this, right? Like this is the shot style, this is the look that he's going for. I'm like, okay, cool. I did not know it was going to be shot for shot. I did not know it was going to be the exact same, scene selection and everything. I was just like, when I finally saw it in class, I was like, there's no way. Like, he's not going to get away with this. And
He got
away with it. Yeah. So just if you're for future reference, just
don't do it,
be
guys.
original. Originality is key here at SCAD.
It's not worth it.
Story.
Yeah, there's so many stories to be told.
I don't know if he was shaking in his boots the whole time, but I would have been.
He was chill. I was looking at him. He was proud, and I was like, okay. He was proud. He was like, yeah, I did good. All right. But Jason, I think you had one of the worst horror stories. I think when all your equipment got canceled.
Oh yeah. We're shooting our documentary, and we decided as a group, like, whoever's going to produce, we'll rent out the equipment from the cage. And I rented out everything. Everything was approved. There was no exclamation red hazard sign at the top left corner of the screen.
Oh, sorry. For our non-SCAD people, the cage is where we pick up our equipment.
Yeah. And it gives you the permissions to rent out all your equipment. So I put in all the equipment. It all went through, approved. I got the first email, approved. I got the second email, approved. It was they were going to close the cage at 6:30 p.m., I believe, on that day. And I get an email at 6:18 p.m. that day that all my equipment is canceled because I ordered too many lights. However, how did the order go through if it doesn't let you go process the order if you have too many of one item? So I everything got canceled, and we were going to shoot the following day. Partially my fault, that I should have done it a lot earlier, but we're going to shoot the following day, and we couldn't order anything the following day because it was just too late notice.
Yes, and for SCAD, you have to rent 24 hours in advance.
Yeah, exactly. So luckily enough, my crew, which consisted of Alonje, and Danny Delgado, very talented individuals, and luckily enough, they do have the equipment that was that was really good equipment that we needed to shoot successfully a documentary that we put together for Gaberhood.com, which were wonderful individuals. But I was just...
We will be putting all these links.
Very soon. But if it wasn't for that collaboration that I keep talking about and communication within your group, it wouldn't have been as successful as it was. And gosh, I was so scared. It's always scary, right? When when they cancel something on you, or you don't get what you need. So that was definitely a horror story on my part. But thank the film lords for Alonje and
thank you, film gods.
Thank you, film gods, for Alonje and Danny's stuff. So thank you guys.
Oh, you're welcome. But let me take this second to acknowledge the cage as a whole. So.
Don't say anything.
No, I will. No, I will. No, please. That's okay. So, I will say that the cage does have their stipulations that we all try to abide by, but the issue is that they're not always clear. Mm-hmm. So, in the case of Jason, he took out too many lights. Do you remember what they were?
Well, one of the kits that had 2 or 3 or 4 of them counted as each individual, but they never said that. They say that one kit is equal to 1 light.
That's the issue. Yeah. You guys need to be, yes, I'm saying you guys. You guys need to be. No, it's okay. It's okay because it needs to be said.
Elijah will never be able to rent equipment.
The cage needs to be a lot more specific about what equipment to take out, what lights counts as what. They say, what do they say? 3 lights or 5 lights?
Mm-hmm. 5 lights. Yeah.
5 or...
Is it 3?
Is it 3? Is it 3? 3 lights. Okay. So first of all, the order went through, which is it's going to be farce on their part. It should have never went through. And then there's a limit for 2 Dracast lights, and 2 Dracast lights count as 1 light, which is fine, but you can only limit 2. He took out 3, but where is there the stipulations of only taking out 2? And then in that case, he took out another light kit. So in my mind, it would be 1, 1, and 1.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But hey, I guess that's too much of the right thing to do. All I'm saying is it needs to be a little more clear so people don't stress out the day before their shoot when they're supposed to pick up their equipment. There's a dedicated spot to take out equipment, and people who work there are supposed to be dedicated to us, the students. So it's a shame and very disappointing when they don't deliver on that dedication. Just a little frustration.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it needs to be said. There needs to be a little bit more order at the cage and a little more.
Well, I don't censor my people.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say, people are great at the cage. We all love you.
Hey, you got the great people. The order of operations needs to be a little better.
They're good
portal.
people.
Yeah, I think the portal needs to be improved. The system.
Yeah, the system. It's not
needs to be improved.
Yeah, I know the people at the cage, and I have class with them, and they're great people. I love them.
Don't get me wrong, but
It's not the people.
It's the portal.
policy.
the
It's a policy,
operations need to be a little more lined up. That's all.
Right.
Agreed.
No offense.
We love you, Jennifer.
We all love you. People at the cage.
But so Jason recently turned your horror set into a real horror set. Do you want to talk about that? When he shouted at the camera
Oh God!
and
Why are you
didn't
doing
even
that?
tell us.
Yeah, I like to keep everybody on their toes. You know,
Yeah,
I'm a huge horror fan. If Alonje wants to do a horror film, I'm going to give him a little bit of horror on the set.
You want to talk about that story, Alonje?
All right, I guess. I mean, PTSD might kick in, but. So we were shooting a horror scene in Airbnb the other day, and I asked Jason to be my scary figure that
It was
appears
a
in the
beautiful
film.
location, by the way.
Yeah.
Shout out to Airbnb.
Airbnb.
Sponsorship is available.
A Jacob 27 at student.scad.
Oh! It is sponsorship time, guys. Get your movie pass.
All inquiries.
It's $9.95 per month, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also get your Filmstruck.
Oh, Filmstruck for sure. Filmstruck is sick.
You can't
Definitely
be a
get
film
that.
student and not have Filmstruck.
Gotta have
Both.
Filmstruck.
And if MoviePass and Filmstruck want to sponsor us, that is A-okay as well. All right, sponsorship time over. Please continue.
All right, so we were shooting this horror scene, and I asked Jason to be a figure in it, and it was a very cynical scene. He was wearing a mask, full character, and this is the turning point in the movie. So we're shooting the scene, you know, MOS, handheld, just waiting for Jason to turn around, his character to turn around and face the camera to create this very scary look on picture. And as he was doing that, yell cut, and he decided to keep going with it. And he decided to jolt at the camera and yell at me. And we gave
I've never seen the camera shake so much in my life.
Now I'm contemplating putting that in the film because it really adds a layer of crazy to the film. And yeah, I mean, if you guys saw it, you'll understand.
You have to put it in now.
We'll put the link
You
at the
have to
bottom.
put it in now so people can see it.
You've never seen a shaky
Link in
camera
the
until you see that.
description.
Don't take much to move it, I know, but damn.
Yeah, I think we got some like natural screams from also the people that were on set. You know, I think Nada screamed and Mahalia screamed.
I didn't scream, but I looked back like, what the hell's going on? Like,
Yeah.
all I know is that Alonje fell back on me and was like, I'm dead.
Why you gotta be all loud about it? And then you see, I didn't say that. You ain't gotta be all loud.
Yeah, I think that like adds to the dynamic on set if you're because I'm a huge horror film and most of my films are based in some type of horror genre, and I love scaring people on set. Like when we're filming my film Spin the Bottle, my DP was Hang Kong. I love you, Hang. And
amazing guy.
yeah.
Amazing DP.
and we were in my basement, and he was scouting the location and trying to get the angles of how he's going to move, and the one shot that I wanted, I was calling for, is a long one shot, and he was getting all his angles. So I kind of like, when he was backing up and trying to get his his movement correct down the stairwell into the hallway of the basement, I kind of like disappeared a little bit, and while he was doing that, and he just like stopped and he got quiet, like, Jason. Jason. Jason, where are you? And I just like came out of nowhere and I scared the crowd. I just scared right in.
Jason does.
That's what I'm talking about.
Jason does amazing impressions, by the way.
Thank you.
Your Quinn laugh is so on point.
Oh, the crescendo. So I just scared him, and he was just like, "Don't do that." So he got terrified. But you need that kind of like, I like to set the mood in scenes, because not only am I working behind the camera now, I used to work in front of the camera a lot. And if you have that dynamic between the actor and the crew, it just creates that more fun environment. And you always have to create that fun environment. If not, that's what happens. We get those horror stories that we talk about now. So we always have to establish that kind of relationship, that kind of trust with everybody. And me scaring people, or me telling jokes, or me doing impressions of people, I like to create a comfort for everybody, and create that kind of bond that is necessary to create great content.
No, it is really important. It helps get your creative juices flowing.
Absolutely.
And things are always better when people get along.
Yes, agreed.
Just need a little reminder that we're all here. Well, once in a while.
Yes, definitely.
But I was on Taylor's set last quarter. She also did a horror film.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you guys know this. I don't think I've ever said that. I'm not a big fan of horror movies, mainly because I'm Black. So I know that if I'm in a horror movie, right, I'm going to be the first to die. So I don't do scary anything, right? So on Taylor said she did a horror story, right? And I didn't know this. My back was to the light. And someone switched the light off. Now, I didn't know somebody switched the light off. I'm just sitting in a room with a bunch of people, the light's off, everybody's talking, and I'm looking around like, so this is normal for you guys? I just started walking out, and everyone was like, oh, yeah, where are you going? I said, I'm not trying to die. What do you mean? What do you mean? I'm out. I was halfway through the door before they were like, where are you going, buddy? I don't know. I have that irrational fear. I don't want to. I haven't seen one horror movie where the Black person lives.
Oh, well, since we're on that topic, I guess it's a little off topic, but do you remember that film you saw today?
Which one?
The one where the black girl died?
Oh!
Like immediately?
Yeah.
And how did you feel about that?
It may,
I'll tell the story of the film in a second, but how did you feel about it?
I understood why it did it that way, but it played into a lot of stereotypes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, naive white girl gets her Black best friend killed because she doesn't want to tell the truth.
Yeah,
And I was like, dang, that's...
It was a great film. So do you want to talk about it? Talk about what it was about?
Yeah, so the film was about a girl she's on a talk show talking about how her friend got murdered, and she's not telling the truth. Like she says that like her ex-boyfriend who was abusive killed her best friend in a hustle and like a fight or something like that. But the truth, as she's telling the story to the news anchor, it cuts to like flashbacks of what actually happened. And turns out the girl was dating the abusive ex-guy, her abusive ex-boyfriend, because he was rich and all she wanted was his money. And her friend kept telling her to leave him and she didn't want to. And then her ex pops out of nowhere, tries to strangle her. And her best friend gets the ex off of her. And the best friend goes into the apartment to get a knife and backs out to like try and like stab the guy. But he ends up getting the knife from her and stabs the best friend. And she just leaves her best friend outside, goes back into her apartment and locks the door.
What was the ethnicity of that friend?
She was your stereotypical Becky, blonde hair, blue-eyed, I love Taylor Swift.
And the victim? And the victim?
But no, but it was literally stereotypical. And it made me mad because I was like, I want retribution, but she ends up getting away with it.
Yeah, I mean, the film left a bad taste in my mouth too. It's just the story beats that progressed. It was just so cringy, you know. It's just like okay, you left your black friend outside to bleed out, and you go inside, lock the door.
It's like
She
Wes
goes
Craven
inside,
all
locks
over
the
again.
door, and then she comes back out to see her best friend is bleeding out, looks up, and it cuts to the security cam footage
That she
walks
put there.
back into her apartment and deletes
The footage. It was bad.
It was so bad. And she said the abusive ex-boyfriend is the one that bought the knife to the fight. Not that she went inside the apartment and got the knife to try and kill him. And I was
Now, I
like,
will say, I thought it was a film that had great potential. Like, I was invested in the story, and everything that was set up was great.
cinematography was
Cinematography was good. It was amazing. But there was something about the story that it made me more mad than anything.
It did. There was another film that we saw the other day.
And what was that?
It was about the girl with the camera who got it stolen.
Was that Val?
Did you go to the showcase?
Oh,
maybe
I
should've mentioned that.
left
Never mind.
early.
Fast forward,
I left
we're
early.
gonna
I'm
clip
sorry.
that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can leave it. Hey, film students, you're not gonna, or prospective film students, you're not gonna always make it to all the events.
You're not.
So,
Sure.
But I don't know. That just goes to tell you, try not to play into stereotypes because people are so complex, and there's just stereotypes are just played out.
Mm-hmm.
They're just played out, and try to stay as far as you away from them because it just makes your story a cliche. Because it was a good story.
yes, I
that-
agree 100% on that.
It was a good story.
Great
but if it
story.
didn't play into those stereotypes.
Great story. Cliche killed it.
Yeah.
It really did. And I think I couldn't put my finger on what it was, but I think that's it.
It was the fact that she didn't get justice. And
Right.
in today's day and age, when you feel like people are not getting justice, it just it enrages something in you. Right.
Ryan's punching the air.
Yeah, Jersey Shore style.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So can I tell my ghost story now?
Oh yes.
Yes.
Oh my God, I totally forgot about that.
Okay. So we were talking about the first thing that Mahalia said was we're going to talk about horrific things that happen on set. And the first thing that popped in my brain, because this is where my brain goes when I hear that, is, did you see a ghost on set? And
Very Jason fashion.
yeah. So
That is so anti-Mahalia. No, there will be no ghosts on this set because I will not be there.
and I got that from you, like just the first quarter when our good friend Taylor Link. I love you, Taylor, and we miss you. She's like, my apartment's haunted, and Mahalia's like, no, we're not doing that. That's
Look, she didn't just stop there. She said, my apartment's haunted. I said, And then she was like, Mahalia, let's go ghost hunting. I said, oh, Lord.
Oh no.
Lordy, Lord, girl, that's some white people nonsense. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, but no, ma'am.
And I'm
Not this Caribbean
and I'm
girl.
over and I'm over in the background like, did someone say ghost hunting? Let's do it.
You're ready to shoot it up.
I was like, y'all could die.
You already got your
I'll
vest
plan
on.
your funerals.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah. And we were setting up in Taylor's apartment actually, and a frame fell by itself, and
Yeah.
So
You saw me. I almost walked out so many times.
Yeah. So it's, which reminds me of this story that I wanted to tell. That my dad's building where he has his business, it was built in 1932. So it's been there since my great grandfather, and they've had this plumbing construction business for years. And when my friends and I decided to do a scene, they're like, we need an old building. So we're like, oh, we can go to my dad's building. Let's go to my dad's building. So we go to my dad's building, and this building has things have already happened. Like we know there's something there. And when all my friends were there, we started filming a scene in one of the hallways, and in the hallway, my DP at the time was just like, okay, and action. So we did our little scene in the hallway, and I was like, okay, let's do it again. So we did about 3 takes. So I was like, let's play back the third take. And when we were playing back the third take, he started looking at. He's like, wait, who's in the background? Who's doing? Didn't we say we need to clear out the back? And I was like, there's nobody there. It's just two actors. And I'm like, he said, no, there's a third person standing in the very back. Can't you see it there? There's a silhouette there. And we kept on looking at it over and over and over again. And sure enough, when we dumped the footage and we got it onto our laptop and we started like looking at it, sure enough, there was a silhouette standing in the very back of the hall.
Mahalia would have said, "It's a wrap." It's a wrap. Back it up. Everybody go home.
And yeah, so it was just that scene, and I'm pretty sure he still has the footage. So I'm gonna see if I can get it so y'all can see that silhouette in the very back of the hallway. And there's a man, a very tall man, which my grandfather was 6'3". So we're thinking that my great grandfather was probably standing there looking at us filming, and he's in the background somewhere.
I hate Jason so much.
I got everybody scared.
Oh my gosh.
Well, on that note, thank you so much, Jason.
You're welcome.
For that.
Yo.
Thank you to Jason and Alonje for coming out today.
You're
Shout out
welcome.
to my associate producers, Pack Sanity, Mr. Brian Pack, and Nada. We gotta have a name for you now. You need a cool name now.
Yeah, we need a name.
Be Nada.
Dina.
We won't go with that one. We'll go back to the drawing board. Okay. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Ciao. Adios.